Hey everyone, happy Thursday. Hope you're having a great day. Definitely a lot of thunderstorm activity. But so far, not a whole lot happening in Fayetteville. Van Buren is nice and warm. Larry, yeah, absolutely. You know what, though? Additional storms are possible later on tonight. And that's what I wanted to kind of give you the details on what you can expect. So I'll tell you what, though, there are. There are some amazing pictures coming in from this solar storm. I don't know if you've heard about it. Well, Abby, let me know if the sound's working now. So there's been a solar storm that's caused a geomagnetic storm that's been classified as a G3, a KP index of 7, which allows the northern lights to be seen as far south as Iowa. Some people can see them from North Carolina. We can't see them because obviously we have a lot of cloud cover and rain. But wow, what a solar storm. And I sent my dad out to go look. He lives in southern Wisconsin and haven't heard anything since. So I don't know. Maybe he passed out with excitement. I don't know. But, anyways, let's take a look at what we've got. So a lot of thunderstorms that are popping up across the area. You can see the flash flooding observed for areas of northeast Oklahoma. I mean, rightfully so. My goodness, it's just been raining and raining and raining and raining and raining in that area. Now, there hasn't been anything in Fayetteville. There hasn't been anything in Fort Smith, especially. So why is that flood warning in effect? Well, it's for the Poto River because there's going to be additional rain. And we'll kind of run through all of this and show you what we can expect. And so if we look at what's happening with, first of all, our radar source, here's a look at Heil Heating and Cooling Mega Doppler. So the good news is that the severe weather threat for Northwest Arkansas, you could pretty much say goodbye, it's done. The severe weather threat in the River Valley is not done because, as we just saw from Larry, beautiful light night, rain-free, warm, very warm in the River Valley. That's fuel for thunderstorms, and there's more energy moving in. So, and the energy that's going to be pushing through, it's the bulk of the system that comes in. We can see it right here off to our west. So this is going to intensify. It's going to increase in strength. Look at all the lightning. So you can tell, look at the lightning here. Not much, a little bit that's coming down in southwest Missouri. But these are highly electrified thunderstorms because they're more intense and because they have more energy to work with. So that's what we're going to be seeing. Now, when we zoom out on the wider view, everything's quiet in the River Valley. But as you will see, there's additional storms. So, Mackenzie, no, you have nothing to worry about. In fact, you can go to bed if you want. There will not be a new watch. It's going to expire for us at 11 o'clock, and it's already expired, as a matter of fact, because it is 11 o'clock. Let's show you, though, some of the flash flooding. So there's a couple of flash flood warnings. One that says considerable. If you notice that, that's that blue shaded area. Considerable means that there's already gauge indicated flash flooding. It's not just radar indicated like this is. So Barry, McDonald County, Cassville is seeing quite a bit of rain. And let me know if you have any flooding or any type of issues. There are reports, by the way. Here's a look at the flooding and the rain. Look at those rain totals. So if we look at some of the rain totals here, this is at radar estimates, 4.4. Let's look at some of the flooding reports. So here's Cassville, 76 westbound, eastbound closed due to flash flooding. Here we've got Route W, northbound and southbound, closed due to flooding in Pineville. Here's another report, Southwest City in McDonald County, closed due to flooding. Haven't been as many reports in Northwest Arkansas, but keep in mind more rain continues to come down. So a lot of rain happening. So here's something Matthew says, I'll tell you what, first storm that came into Benton County this afternoon was insane. Driving from Grab to Rogers was intense. It was raining so hard it was hard to see. D Street had quite a bit of water on them. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. So what's going to happen the rest of the night? Well, there's additional storms popping up in Benton County. There's additional storms popping up to our southwest. And there's additional thunderstorm activity. Now, here's where things wind down for severe weather potential in terms of hail and damaging winds. 52 in Bentonville and Rogers. That's pretty cool. Springdale dropped off because it shuts down after 10 o'clock and starts reporting again at 5 a.m. So there's mid 50s. Now look at this. Oh, it's cooler now in Fort Smith. It hit 64. So that front is pushing south, and it's still 75 in Logan County, in Danville, Russellville at 71, Little Rock at 74. So that boundary, if we go back to it, let's show you where it is. So we can draw it basically right through here. And it is, I guess, having quite a bit of progression to the south. So I would say that front is like that, kind of right on the doorstep of Fort Smith. And then you'll see that northerly wind taking over at Fort Smith. So maybe that boundary's already come through the Fort Smith area. Now, here's what you can expect the rest of the night, according to the computer models. So here's a look at the future track, and you can see there's additional storm activity and also storms that start popping up in Fayetteville. Now, I'm not concerned about tornado potential at all in Fayetteville. We don't have anything to worry about. I am wondering about the River Valley because if you'll notice, right around 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, these storms kind of flare up a little bit. They're a little brighter. They increase in intensity, and that's because we have the bulk of this energy moving through. Look at how the rain continues to come down, too, in the River Valley. And then as we move throughout the day tomorrow, that risk will start to shift to the east, and then you can see basically a little bit of light rain falling. But there is more energy. We can see it. It's off to the west. So it was a little delayed. It formed north of the boundary, and the energy is kind of lagging back. This is exactly why, if you're wondering, a negative tilt jet stream is very important, because when the energy kind of lags back like this, you get prefrontal storms, you get cloud cover, you get rain. When you get those negative tilts, though, that swing in, that's where you have the lift that just all of a sudden hits the area. But notice at the very end of this water vapor, you can see a little bit of brighter, colder cloud tops in north central Texas. That's the energy that's coming this way. In fact, we can look at the infrared. I'll show you the infrared satellite, and you're going to see brighter thunderstorms right there to the northwest. So these are still coming our way, and that energy will be making it in. So you can see how it's starting to kick out and it's starting to eject, if you will. So this is the bulk of the energy that's pushing in. Yeah, that's a pretty intense storm right there near Wichita Falls, right there at the last second. Let's see if, in fact, if that's severe. I can imagine it is. No, it doesn't look like it is, but it might be. It might become severe. It is starting to become a stronger storm. So right now, the trough is basically kind of neutral or positive tilt, but it does swing in as negative tilt, which is why things could get interesting tomorrow. There is a moderate risk in southeast Arkansas. Notice how the River Valley still has these storms clipping the area. So tomorrow morning, shortly after 7, that severe weather risk will kind of linger a little bit in the River Valley. And then you can see the severe weather risk in southeast Arkansas and northeast Louisiana. Here's a look at the future track with the graph. This is a different model, but it shows additional storms. And maybe the flooding threat isn't going to materialize in parts of all areas of northwest Arkansas. I think that heavy corridor rain is definitely setting up, though, in parts of northern Benton County. And then after that, storms move out, and we've got a beautiful weekend to look forward to. So that's kind of everything right there to give you an update. So additional storms likely overnight tonight, mainly rain in northwest Arkansas. Some of the rain will come down pretty heavy at times. Glad to see no accidents. Seeing the accidents on my way home, Matthew said the rain was coming down big time. Highway 68 Salo, but the beginning was very full, not necessarily flooded, but getting close. Okay, thank you, Abby. I appreciate that report. Ooh, anybody tired? Raise your hand or let me know if you're tired, because I'm pretty exhausted. But the good news is I'm not going to stay here overnight, but I will be watching the radar and come in if needed tomorrow morning. It's a little iffy on the severe weather potential, but we'll watch it closely. So I do think additional energy will be moving in. I think we will see additional storms. I think there could be a watch for the River Valley. It won't be now, though, but it would be mainly issued around 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I have been home briefly, and I ran today. I went to the gym. I got my workout in. In fact, I ran the fastest 5K I ever have at just over 19 minutes. I did a 5K on the treadmill, not running outside. One, my knees aren't good, but two, treadmill I know is easier running than outside. I probably couldn't have done it, but I'm getting faster. So that's kind of a look at everything. Let's look at our trusty, which wasn't so trusty, Texas Tech WRF, and let's see what it shows for tornado potential. I know, still recovering from the time change. Isn't that the truth? And I'm kind of tired too from that Razorback game. That wasn't the best. Really wasn't. We kind of ran into a Yukon buzzsaw. All right, so let's look at the updraft helicity. Hello. Previous run. I guess it's updating now. So let's look at the updraft helicity. And there it kind of comes through the river valley tomorrow, late morning into the early afternoon. That's kind of interesting. So there still is some energy that's lagging back. Now, look at the significant tornado parameter. You'll see it basically ramping up. This was basically earlier today, and that didn't come to fruition, thankfully. But look at what happens here during the late morning as it kind of noses back in just right at the last second. So right there, this is, by the way, oh, pardon me for yawning. This is 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m. So you guessed it, the usual suspects, Logan and Scott County. Uh-oh, computer's acting weird. Is it freezing up? It did. It froze up. Oh, great. It did. It froze up. Yeah, it's really glitchy, isn't it? I'm like Mad Max. Mad Max in the Headrome. That's an old school movie, by the way, if you've ever seen that. Where is this rain we're supposed to get? Well, it depends on where you're at, Amanda, because if you're in Benton County, it rained a whole lot. So let me know where you live, and there's more on the way. If you might remember in my earlier update, I said there would be a lull or a break in the precipitation or a lack of thunderstorms. Well, I might have to drop off the camera because it is acting real strange. This computer's been working overtime, by the way. Oh, yeah. You remember that. Was working great. Downgrade to Windows XP. No kidding. Yikes. Colby coming around. Well, let me show you what's happening out west. Yeah, it looks like it's still glitching out. Let's see here. I guess the computer's tired too. I asked if anybody was tired, and it just shut down. Looks like, Gonzaga and UCLA. This is a good game right here. Woo, it's close. 75 to 73, if you're watching that. Yeah, so you can see the additional energy moving in. It's a loop, by the way. It doesn't look like a loop, but there's more rain coming. So, Amanda, you're in Fayetteville. I know there is more rain coming. It's just not probably going to be a lot in Fayetteville. Maybe an inch and a half. We'll see how this evolves. Once the energy moves through, we'll see what happens in southeast Arkansas. Yep, I think this is done for. It's wrapping out. Highway 412 at 5:30 was awful. Yeah, there was some pretty heavy rain. All right, guys. Well, that does it because this is glitching out. And with that being said, I am going to stop the stream. But we'll reboot and we'll get ready for tomorrow. So I know Tennessee lost to Florida Atlantic. The radar does show that. Just drove Grove to Colcord. There is a lot of water. Yes, there is. Absolutely. All righty, guys. Take care. Have a good one. We'll keep you updated, and I will be here watching the storms. Won't do any more updates, and I'm going to take off here pretty soon. And then Zach Gilday will be in, and Zach Gilday will have the storms, and I'll be watching if something really bad happens, and I'll cover it with them. Later, guys. Thanks for watching this glitched out Facebook Live towards the end. Man, I got to take care of that. Oh, UCLA just scored a major 3. You got to watch that game. It's coming down to the end. See ya.